Hey, you with the face.
Welcome.
Welcome to the I Regret Nothing podcast.
I Regret Nothing podcast.
Groovy.
With Mike J. and Pedro.
I regret nothing.
I regret nothing.
We regret nothing.
I regret everything. Everything I've ever done.
Well, hello, friends. We have a new lineup today. Matt, as you can see, is not here. Right at the beginning of the podcast, your fucking dog. Right at the fucking beginning. Anyway, Matt couldn't be here. He's in France right now, and he's with his family. So no Matt, but we did get resident KDTF DJ James Clark to be on the show. So welcome.
Hi.
Introduce yourself, James.
Hi, I'm James. I don't think anyone knows me as Captain Comedy at this point, but if you know me online, that's my other name. I do writing and production and hosting on the talk radio show that is in Postal 4. It's a good bunch of fun. I bet a lot of people haven't listened to it yet. I urge you to, because we're having a lot of fun putting it together. There's some fun cameos in there, some fun in-game references, so it's pretty cool. We're going to end up with a pretty big chunk of radio in the game. So it's pretty exciting.
For those of you that don't know, in Postal 4, if you pull up the cell phone, you can turn on radio stations, and then you can flip between stations. Right now we have a rock station, and we have a talk radio station, and we are soon going to be putting in a electro house station. And James is actually reproducing the rock station so it sounds as good as his comedy station does, because it was hot garbage before, and now it's not going to be, because once we heard his shit, we were like, we need our radio station to sound that good. So
and oh boy, it's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
Really,
and there's going to be
really
more
good.
coming. Right now we have what would you say is in there right now? Like 60 plus minutes?
Right now, we're around 45 minutes or so. We're going to be topping out around 80 on the talk station,
Wow.
at least as of 1.0. We might add more at some point. But I was actually doing the math and checking out other open world games. I don't know if we should name any here, if it matters or not. But
You can name anything you want.
I think we're going to have the longest and most talk radio in any open world game other than GTA 5, just because it has 2 stations.
Right. Well,
Because at 80
listen,
minutes.
man, their budget was something in the range of 200 times our budget.
Right, exactly.
So if we can get
201.
80 minutes on a shoestring, you'd think if we had, even 10% more of a budget, we could put in fucking 4 hours. So,
Right.
I mean,
Make it 5,
they
make
do
it
have
6.
like thousands of licensed music tracks in there.
Yeah,
So that's
they have
probably
thousands of lights and music tracks, and they
Yeah.
have someone on call getting a salary to just
Right.
write radio.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
like 10 people working on each station.
Well,
so I get it.
I certainly hope that you leapfrog us and you end up somewhere in the industry that's like a real company that'll pay you real dollars to do this,
Nah.
because we know we're a stepping stone, and that's okay.
Bullshit. I love Postal. I'm not going
Well,
anywhere.
That's how we found this guy. He wrote us randomly out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a sound producer. Check out my shit." And I was like, "God damn, this guy's pretty fucking good. I wonder if he'll do a bunch of work for us for nothing."
I tweeted Mike, and I was like, "Hey, this is before the Postal 4 trailer, the first one, the reveal came out. I was like, hey, in theory, in case you guys are making a game, and like in case that game has like talking in it, I talk into microphones for a wannabe living, and what if can I send you a demo?" And he just sends me back like, "All of that is true. Send me what you got."
Yeah,
I was
what
like,
are you gonna do? And he did it. It was I don't know. If you haven't listened to it yet, please do. KDTF in Postal 4. It's fucking great. I think maybe we should post them to YouTube too, as just like
Oh, for
SoundClouds
sure.
people
Once
listen.
we have everything,
And then once it's
1.0
done, I might even make like an album on Spotify and stuff, so
Yeah.
you can listen to the entire like KDTF radio station on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff. So if you don't own the game, buy it already. And if you
Right.
do own the game, go take a listen. And if you don't want to buy the game, which I totally get, because fuck us, right? you can wait to listen to it on YouTube and stuff. So that's who James is. Thanks for joining us today. And obviously we got Pedro. He's always here. We don't need to go into any details about that guy. For those of you that haven't seen the Postal Brain Damage demo is out today. And if you're listening to this later, you may have missed it. It premiered during the Steam Games Next Fest, which was started today and goes through the 7th. And so from now through the 7th, you can download the demo for Postal Brain Damaged. Yes, we know it's a better game than Postal 4. That's fine. You don't need to tell us. But make sure you tell Hyperstrange. Tell them you can suck their dicks all you want. Tell us how much you love it. You don't need to tell us how much better it is than Post 4. We know. We know, okay? We didn't trademark the worst game ever for nothing, okay? We know that we make games that are just chock full of jank. But, yeah, check it out.
It's a brand new worst game ever for you guys to try out. So download the demo up until the 7th.
Yep.
And that will be it.
And if you could tell your friends, stream it on your streaming channel, and wishlist the fuck out of that game, please, because Hyperstrange is busting their ass, and we didn't give them the rights to make a Postal game for nothing. We know what we've done in the past with Eastern European developers and the Postal brand, but fortunately this time around we found a good one. And, so check it out, please. It's fucking solid. Super solid. So, that's all I have to say about Brain Damage. There's nothing more to say. I'm going to, after this podcast, which we're gonna kind of blow through, I'm going to try to stream it for a little while if you want to watch me play games, which is always funny because I'm terrible at games. So, tune in and laugh at me. So for our first topic is one of the most hotly debated issues of the week. I wouldn't say debated at all. Actually, it's like completely shit on. And that is the casting of the Mario movie. Now,
I think it's so meme-worthy.
Like, it's an animated movie, right? These are voice actors, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are not going to get a live-action Mario movie.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, as a voice actor myself, and James is also one, and he works with a lot of them, I wouldn't overly judge by what the cast looks like before you hear what the voice acting they can do.
We might disagree on this one.
No, I have seen some fucking wacko voices out of people that I would never expect.
Right.
And while I don't particularly think Chris Pratt is a good pick for Mario, I don't know what his voice acting chops are like. If he just sounds like himself, it's going to be trash.
He's funny in Lego Movie, and so he's good at acting not on a screen. My issue with it is there are people that have played these Mario characters for so long, and the only one that gets any kind of even like a little bone thrown at him is Charles Martinet playing Mario. He gets to be a couple cameo characters. It's fucked up to me that once it's a movie, all right, now we can get rid of all these.
Yeah, but
actors,
at the end of the day, right? Like, this guy's gonna have a lot of lines,
right?
The people that have voice acted Mario in the past didn't have a lot of lines. It wasn't exactly stellar voice acting to say. I mean, it was just very simple one-liners.
Sure.
Like
I can see that argument.
Right. I mean, and that said, I'm not saying Chris Pratt's the right choice. He may not be.
Right.
But, we've also shit on a lot of casting in the last few years in just movies in general that turned out to be great. So, I don't know. I mean, not that all casting directors are great, and sometimes they put in a bunch of actors that are stupid, but I don't know. Let's wait to hear.
They did a similar thing with the Ratchet and Clank movie, where there were these characters. It's been the same people for years who have had lots of lines in the games, and then it's a movie. All right, now we need to get Rosario Dawson, classic. That's a name that if you see it on the poster, you're gonna go see it.
So at the end of the day, here, you're only going to appeal to the hardcore gamers so much. You have to pull in a bigger audience than that. And while Mario is probably the most recognized game in the world, it's still not overly appealing. If you have a star-studded cast, you might sell an extra 20% of tickets. I don't know. There's some metric here that people are that they're using, and I'm sure it's valid. And it may not even be good, but we'll see. I don't know. The Sonic voice, whatever. It was fine. It worked. Yeah. They redid the character. I don't think it would have mattered if the character looked like shit. The movie was good. We all freaked out over a trailer because Sonic looked disgusting. and then they spent millions of dollars making him look a little better.
That's
But the movie was really
Yeah.
good. So I don't think it would have mattered either way. I mean, we might have gone in more annoyed because of how he looked, but the movie was very good. The movie didn't change because of how they made Sonic look. I think somebody's cooking popcorn in the office. Fuck, it stinks.
Don't you like the smell of popcorn?
Yeah, but when you like do a microwave popcorn in an office and everybody can smell it, and sometimes it's a little overcooked, and I think this is a little overcooked. It smells a little burnt in here. Of course, the office could be burning down, and I don't know.
Well, good luck then.
The door is closed, and well, I don't know. I guess I have
Grab
sprinklers
all
in
the
here.
hard drives and leave.
Well, the sprinklers would burn everything out, so who knows? Anyway,
Well.
Mario. I guess it's coming.
Yep.
I don't really care.
Let's see
It
if he
didn't-
can make a real good impression of an Italian plumber.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The guy that played him in the movie, I thought did a pretty good job. Bob Hoskins.
Oh yeah.
Thought he was great. He was probably like the shining
Yeah, that
star of that
makes sense.
movie. But we don't need to talk about that movie. That movie's, most people listening to this probably haven't even seen that movie. Marvel sues co-creators of Iron Man and Spider-Man so it doesn't have to share the copyright. I can't even begin to discuss the legal shit that goes on in the comic industry. It's completely crazy to me how this has been going down the last few years and how Sony owns the rights to this, but it's still a Marvel product. But Marvel has their own studio and they can't do anything with Spider-Man until they bought Sony. I don't know. I'm not a legal student.
Real spaghetti contracts all over the place, and everybody sues everybody these days because nobody knows who owns what.
Well, I don't know if you saw the the statements after ScarJo settled with Disney.
Yeah,
It almost sounds like just business as usual, right? Like, well, of course she sued us. That's the way we do business. Like
Right.
Oh,
so
we
you're
got
the way
that's
you do
normal.
business is you try to fuck somebody, they sue you, and then you don't fuck them. I mean, I guess the company's always just trying to get the best deal they can. So, whatever. Marvel. I can't say fuck Marvel. They've done such a good job. Although I will say the new Spider-Man ride at Disneyland is fucking hot garbage.
Oh shit.
The whole area at California Adventure, the Marvel campus, is beautiful. The ride is, no joke, Toy Story for adults. I don't know if you've ridden the Toy Story ride. It's just a ride where you're in this little box with 4 people and you have these little guns and you shoot at screens. And then the box moves and then you shoot at a different screen. It's exactly the same, except you use your hands instead of a gun and you shoot webs. It is fucking trash. I mean,
Wow.
truly,
That sounds
truly, truly
atrocious.
trash. And you have to do the virtual queue because they don't let people get in line right now. So you have to waste one of 2 virtual queues you can do in a day to do that ride. And when we did it, the ride broke down while we were in line, and we ended up being in line for over an hour, and it was broken. And when we got on it, it wasn't even working. Like the web slinging wasn't working. And so that was nice. Compared to Rise of the Resistance, the new Star Wars ride, which is the best ride I've ever been on.
Oh, but they set the bar really high, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, Smuggler's Run, the other ride in Star Wars Land, is cool, and it's well done. That was the first ride, and it's a little underwhelming, but it's cool. If you compare it to the Spider-Man ride, holy shit. I mean, Smuggler's Run may as well be the best ride in the world compared to Spider-Man. That is a stupid ride. Terrible. Anyway, Marvel, good job. Great. Fuck you. China declaring cryptocurrencies illegal. Well, I mean, I don't know. We've been calling
What's
them
happening in China right now? Everything is becoming illegal suddenly.
China's
They
Can't
the
make money from it.
you remember that
Cryptocurrencies?
China is a currency manipulating country. That's what they do.
Right.
So like,
Yes.
maybe they just trying to short Bitcoin. I don't know. It's wouldn't surprise me. I mean, she just does whatever he wants, and making games illegal. I don't even know how that works. Isn't Tencent like owned by the government?
Maybe.
What's going
I
on?
wouldn't be surprised.
Do they not like want to just pump out like crazy propaganda games all the time and let their minions play them?
Right.
Apparently not. Unless it's financed by the government, which means it's heavily censored.
Right. Well,
by their standards.
Postal
of
2 had a
course.
nice life on Steam in China.
It really did.
Now it'll probably be gone. But we've been saying that for years, so we'll see when it happens.
Yeah, we've always told people, if you have our games available right now, buy them.
Yeah.
Before they go unavailable forever.
Yeah,
Possibly
but
forever,
it
we don't
is
know.
possible that even if you own them in China, that you won't be able to access them because they
Right.
might just cut off access to Steam there altogether. I mean, I remember a few years ago, Valve announced that they had made a deal with China and they were going to make the store, Chinese compliant, which would definitely not include Postal. But I don't think it ever happened. I mean, I'm still selling copies there, so.
And we don't like to
If
censor
you
our
know the
games.
Chinese government, don't tell them because it's still working.
Yep. We don't really like to censor our games, so
No.
if they become unavailable,
But
Oops.
if Microsoft would call me back and say, like, hey, we want Postal Redux, but, and they told me why, maybe we'd do it because I want to be on Xbox already. This is bullshit.
Right.
yeah, call us back, Microsoft. What the fuck?
We're working on it. We're hoping that it's just the Postal 1 thing. We're really hoping because, Postal 4 has got to be on Xbox. It just has to be.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We're working on it. I am in discussions with them. They have called me back, so I'm just ranting. I don't have anything to advertise. We don't have anything new. We just have the same old. Buy more crotchy dolls, guys. Actually, buy more cunny dolls. Those are not
Yeah.
selling as well as crotchy dolls. And I realize they're new and people are scared of the pussy. But cunny dolls are in stock, and my wife is the voice. So if you want to hear my wife talking dirty all the time out of a little doll, buy one.
Yeah, buy one for your girlfriends and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, look, it reminds me of you."
Or buy one for your son. Buy one for your son.
one for
Baby's
your
first
daughter.
pussy.
Oh no.
Apple blacklists Epic. I mean, we had to all see that was coming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And they
That was-
deserve it.
A million
glad-
miles away.
I'm glad they didn't block other Unreal Engine shit because there are really useful Unreal Engine tools for cinematics and stuff. I don't know if you guys have played with those at the studio, like the virtual camera shit where you can hold the phone or your iPad and it's like having the camera in the world. That
Yeah,
shit's
I've
all
seen
still
something like
that's
that
just
for
also
Samsung.
accessible, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, their games they went poof.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
No.
I mean,
they can
if
they can play the
somebody-
victim all they want. They asked for this.
Yeah.
yeah, if somebody sues you, you don't really expect yourself to give them the platform
Right.
that
Right.
they don't deserve.
Yeah, it's not even the lawsuit. I mean, it was the violating the terms without even trying first, right? Like if
Right.
Epic filed a class action suit and they had 1,000 developers join them saying we want your rates lowered, that's the way to do this. Instead, they just uploaded a version of their game that circumvented the App Store.
They broke
so,
the rules.
Yeah,
and
they
then
broke the
said,
rules.
The
And
rules
then-
suck.
Right, and then they're like, well, we just think. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter what you think. You signed the terms, man.
Right.
And they like to bite the hand that feeds them all the time. All the time.
Yep, they do it. I mean, that said, we do need to get Postal 4 on EGS.
Hmm.
So if
I-
you guys want to, if you guys want
I
to,
don't have a people have such a problem with EGS. I've never had an issue launching my games with it. So
no, but it
why not-
doesn't.
why
It
not
doesn't
put
have
it
a
on there?
shopping cart. It doesn't have a shopping.
no,
cart,
it doesn't,
so.
and you can't search unless you know the exact name of. the
How does
game.
that happen? The Epic launcher has a shopping cart if you are
Yeah.
in the marketplace for Unreal. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I
we don't
only
need to talk
use-
about that
I
anymore.
only use the EGS for Unreal Engine. That's
Yeah.
it.
I use it for that
That's
and to
it?
launch Hitman 3. That's it.
I'll never use it for anything else. If they give me free games, I don't care. I am not using that.
I need to
Wow.
update the fan of the week here.
I'm just
There we go.
that. And oh yeah, the fan of the week thing. Yeah.
Fan of the week is Fruit Punch Me on Twitter with this nice drawing of the dude with a halo, but it looks like he is in hell. Hey, Fruit
It's
Punch
the
Me.
purgatory, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's a nice picture. I like it. I like your drawings.
Oh, that rocks. I
Yeah.
forgot. I can't be looking at Zoom. I'm not going to see the art.
You won't.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's good shit. There's been a lot of good little pieces of art coming up on Twitter and on Reddit too. So
Yeah, I've been following a couple of the people that are constantly doing postal art. It's awesome.
yeah, anybody that posts this shit on Reddit and you're like, why am I not the fan of the week? Well, it's because you need to put it on Twitter and you need to hashtag
Yep.
I Regret Nothing podcast with your art,
Oh.
and maybe Pedro will pick you.
That's something that I remember. There's a lot of really good arts out there that doesn't have the hashtag. Without hashtag, I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Pedro's
use the
very narrow.
hashtag.
Pedro's very narrow-minded, everyone.
Yeah. I'm an asshole.
Super narrow-minded.
I'm an asshole.
Valve. So Valve is patenting a feature to allow you to play games as they're being downloaded. What?
Doesn't
I'm
PlayStation
not-
already do that?
Yeah.
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 I started Death
Maybe it's a
Stranding the
PC
other day.
thing.
Here's what happened. I started Death Stranding Director's Cut before it was done downloading, and it wasn't even done with the intro cinematic before it was done downloading.
Oh,
So,
God.
so there you go.
Yeah, I've had downloads. If that tech is cool until you're like re-downloading a game to play it again, and then it's like download 100% complete, and it's like, okay, cool, let me play, and then you hit load and it goes 30% done. You got to wait another
Right.
couple hours, and it's like, all right, great.
I could have sworn this was a feature in Steam before.
I don't
Years and years
think-
ago, there
maybe
was
they tested it.
yeah,
Maybe-
it definitely existed that there was a play
Yeah.
before you finished downloading, and I
I
think
mean-
it only worked on
I
like
know-
linear games.
I know some I think I don't know if Steam did it, but I think PlayStation at least tried it where they pitched the idea of streaming the game from their servers while you're downloading it.
I just feel like at some point here they're gonna just build GeForce Now into Steam, and you can just stream your game instead of downloading it.
I
Well,
shit.
that will be
I-
very convenient.
Oh
Yeah.
man, fuck that, man. That's such a nightmare though, because then at that point they can start making games that you never download and you never have the files. So then if some publisher goes, actually this deal sucked, we're pulling our game, the game is gone forever. So I hope it takes a long time for us to get to
Do
streaming.
you
all-
think that they can't do that now, even if you download it? You're already using Steam to play the game. They could just
Right, but if they pull the files, people they have something to try and reverse engineer. Whereas if it's all in the cloud, you never have the
you know
game
what you sound like
files.
to me? I
What's
need
that?
my disc.
No,
If
no,
I don't
do
have
need
my
my data
disc.
though. I need the data. I need to have the data so that I mean, in the future, if Nintendo pulls all the shit on the eShop, it's still somehow playable without them making it a backwards compatibility thing. I don't need a physical disc.
I mean, I
but-
think using Nintendo would be a bad example because on a system like that, you don't really have the data, and you are connected to the internet, and they could
yeah, but
shut
you
off.
download it and then you can rip the data off, and then people.
Okay, we
upload
got
it.
fucking Mr. Robot here
I'm
hacking
just,
Nintendo.
I'm just saying. I'm
This
just
guy's
saying.
just hacking Nintendo
Okay.
left and right.
Call me old school, but I really like physical copies. But
No.
still,
Ugh.
I love Steam. Okay.
Do you know
I
how
have
many
a lot of
discs
games on
I have
Steam.
at home? I think the only discs I have are, and these are movies, is the Postal Blu-ray and Dirty
I've heard
Dancing.
that thing sucks.
And
Nice.
Dirty Dancing. I have Dirty Dancing
Hell
DVD.
yeah.
That's about it. I may have
Yeah.
one or two discs from like my PlayStation 4 laying around, like GTA 5.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I don't want a physical. I will take physical copies of my own games because, they sit on the shelf back there. And then hopefully sometime soon, haven't heard any news lately, but we'll have some limited run copies of Postal Redux for PlayStation and Switch.
Nice.
Maybe Xbox. I don't know. I mean, if you're Microsoft, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, for the love of God, put this game on your system. It's
Right
it's
now.
rated M for mature, just like you asked. GTA Trilogy is even more likely now that it has appeared on the South Korea's rating system. All right. We get to
Have
play.
we confirmed it before?
We get to play Vice City and San Andreas. And what else?
3.
And,
GTA 3.
Free.
Got it. Yeah, I mean that's cool. I just
Hopefully they're good ports, because the ports they did on iOS were okay, but then they ported those to the PS3, so like all the little problems and shit with the iOS version, like control changes, everyone was stuck with now. So there's like long videos on YouTube about all the problems and differences between the originals and the remakes.
I
So
just
hopefully they
don't even
nail it.
listen, man. These guys make so much money. I'm not even sure why they would port it. They should just remake it.
Right.
Yeah.
Use all the same audio. I don't know. Just they have so much money. It's not
And
even
they
like
have like 1,200 employees across their like
right.
9
That's my point
studios.
here. Like you're not reinventing the wheel here. You already have the new version of the engine. You just make some new assets, put the game together. I realize it's a slightly bigger project than that, but they've had 10
Right.
years since GTA 5 came out. 10 years.
Right.
And the ports you've done so far have been way glitchier than Postal 4.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah, for sure,
glitchier.
100%.
Don't ever say anything's glitchier than Postal 4.
It's a,
okay?
it's a benchmark.
Listen,
okay? It's a
we're gonna
benchmark.
rename this podcast the Kesha Circle Jerk
Ooh.
because Postal 4 is definitely the worst game there is.
Oh shit.
Steam Deck benchmarks are impressive. We actually have one.
Do you?
We do. I don't.
That's awesome.
John does. Postal 4 does run, and it does not run that poorly, actually. And
That's
we
awesome.
haven't even done our major performance pass, which we are actually in the middle of right now. We're hoping by sometime after the Friday release, we will be able to update the game and make it run a lot better everywhere, which also means it'll run a lot better on Steam Deck. So when you get a Steam Deck, it'll run well. More importantly, when we go to port it for PlayStation and hopefully Switch, it'll be much more portable. So
That rocks.
yeah. Anyway, our own experience is that the Steam Deck is working pretty well.
Out of the box, which
Out of
is
the box,
very
yeah.
important.
Yeah. Getting it to run all games, that's a little bit of a stretch. But
Can't have it all.
right, it will run quite a bit. I mean, it did try to run the Linux ports of Postal 2 out of the box and the Redux Linux port, which isn't going to work, obviously. But once you push it to Windows, it did work all right. So that's
Nice.
good news. So, if you were thinking about getting a Steam Deck and you were like, well, I don't know if Postal's going to work on it, it does. It does. So
Oh, yeah.
buy your Steam Deck because that's the console that has everything, including Postal 4. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if 3 works. I wonder if 3 works.
Does it matter?
Does Unreal Engine 3 work on Linux?
It does matter to a certain group, a certain subset of Postal fans that think it's the greatest Postal game there is. And they are
Well.
allowed to think that. I mean, there's
Oh,
people that like to have sex
absolutely.
with dead people. You got to understand
who
as they
don't
when
like
they
to have
you
sex
know what
at
they
all.
tell you when you're younger and you like you break up with somebody and you're down. You're like, don't worry, there's somebody for everybody. It's like,
Yeah.
well, there is somebody that loves Postal 3, and boy, do we
Well-
know about it.
When we ask the fans which game they prefer, Postal 2, and everybody's like, yeah. When we say Postal 1, eh. When we say Postal 3, just
Yeah.
one.
It's crickets. It's crickets, except for one very loud small community.
Exactly.
And that's okay. I'm glad there's people that like it.
Yeah.
It's still a Postal game, regardless of how much it sucks balls. And it does, in fact, suck balls.
Big balls.
They like to think that we're the ones circle jerking that and that we made it a meme and it's just a meme how bad it is. It's not.
Yeah.
It really is that bad.
Nuh-uh.
And while Postal 4 has its issues, and it does, it's not that bad.
And it's getting better fast too.
Yeah.
Like the progress you guys have made in the even like the last over COVID in the last year is insane. Like every time I sit down and play again, I'm like, after a big patch, I'm like, holy shit, they added a lot to this. This is like really coming together, and fuck, man, it's gonna be good.
Elite Fire says no, Postal 3 won't work on Linux. It's not a question of whether it will work on Linux. It's a question of whether it will work on Proton. And Proton plays Windows games, so that's the question. Also, you can install Windows on your Steam Deck, so you can just play games directly from their Windows pieces. So, like,
Nice.
incorrect statement. Just telling you
if
you're
it
wrong.
works on Windows and you install Windows,
Yeah. And also,
you're
Children of
likely going
Bodom
to
says
play it.
Postal 3, very good game. You're wrong.
But it's okay.
But it's okay.
as far as
You're allowed to be wrong.
running, you can run it. or you can walk it. It will depend on the performance, of course.
Postal 4 feels like a slideshow compared to Brain Damage. Does he mean sideshow?
No slideshow.
Like he's
Bad
saying it has
frame
bad
rate.
performance? Is that what he's
Bad
saying?
frame rate.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, Brain Damaged is a very low performance hog boomer shooter, and Postal 4 is a unoptimized open world shooter.
Right.
So are you comparing like apples to llamas or something? I don't know. It's a
One
bad
is made on Unreal Engine,
bad
which is
comparison.
very difficult for open world games.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an RTX for now, you of course are optimizing the game. If you don't have a really good hardware, you might have to struggle a bit for a while, but we will get on it.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. We got a guy that's dedicated to this. We have a dedicated performance guy right now, and he's getting there. He had to do some rearranging. He had to do some housekeeping first before he could get into the optimization stuff. But he's actually on that now, and hopefully we'll see some soon. Maybe by the next podcast, maybe by the one after that, we'll be able to actually tell you what we've seen. But as of right now, he's working on it, and there's a lot of room for improvement. So be happy. Please fix Postal Brain Damaged. No.
We are not going to fix Postal Brain
It's not our
Damage
game.
ever.
It's not our game. So if you have any comments like that you need something fixed, direct them to Hyperstrange. They're the developer.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be fixing that. But
Ever.
but if you want to tell us what you want fixed, we're not going to tell them for you. But we'd love to hear it. So make sure you put it in the comments so we can ignore it. eFootball, PES, becomes the worst rated game on Steam. Really?
Yeah, it's quite a mess really, because they went free to play with this game. And when you go free to play, you have to lower a lot of assets. You see the players' faces, they are like this when they score a goal. So everybody is really struggling with the game because it has a lot of glitches right now. And yeah, this free-to-play model isn't really doing it any favors.
Yeah.
And
It's I mean, a lot of people go free to play with their game and they have a lot of money to sink it. They're okay losing money up front. Konami is not that kind of company where they have a ton of money to invest up front. I mean, they spend all their time licensing their games to make pachinko machines. So it's crazy too that eFootball looks like such shit when they got to actually scan all the players and do facial scans, and they look so much worse than other football games that didn't get to scan everyone. Like I don't understand how it happens. I don't know.
Did you see the comparison between next gen and previous gen of this game?
No,
it's crazy because
that's
the last gen looks much better for some reason.
Yeah, I saw some.
I don't know how they fucked it up like that.
I saw some really bad like procedural ragdoll animation stuff in replays where people's arms are just going like while it's just like, did you test this? How is this released? It's crazy.
Absolutely not. And I have no idea how they still have licenses to some things. Like Pro Evolution Soccer isn't the same as it used to be. It used to directly compete with FIFA.
Yeah.
And now it can't do that at all.
No.
Absolutely not. Especially as a free-to-play game, because it doesn't appeal to people these days. I would say they should focus on pachinko machines.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I'm still very sad that Metal Gear Solid 3 became a pachinko machine instead of a full-blown remake.
Well, I feel like I think I read some news like an hour or two ago that there's a rumored remake of 3 coming from another studio, which is cool. Fingers crossed that that's real. Because Konami has dropped the ball so bad on Silent Hill, on Metal Gear, and now on PES, which is insane. Stop dropping the fucking ball on all these like beloved franchises that you're holding.
Stop dropping your soda can, James.
I
But wait,
did.
they are going to remake
I
Metal Gear 3?
I don't know if it's true or not. It's
Oh,
I
I
saw a
hope so.
headline. And
I
didn't read it.
want Metal Gear / Death Stranding mixed game.
Ooh.
I
I
forgot
would
how
love
boring the first 10 hours of Death Stranding are.
I still haven't played it. I want to.
It's
That really makes me want to.
well, no. It gets much better. It's just
Okay.
the
Yeah.
beginning, and this is what all the reviews were based on. Is it is literally a walking simulator,
Yeah.
and it is like that until you get out of the first area, and you get to the second area, which has vehicles, and the game becomes much more fun with combat and stuff. The beginning area is grating.
And the director's cut adds at least one stealth mission, right?
Don't know. Haven't gotten there
I've
yet.
heard something like that.
Don't know.
So some Metal Gear polish right there.
And maybe they have a box you can get under.
Okay, that's something.
Pedro, I
That's
think
Metal
what
Gear.
the
There we
people
go.
I think
Shit.
what the people want right now is an update on the Postal dating sim.
Oh, okay. I've been working on that on my free time. No joke, really. I've been working on that. So if I have some news about it, I'll let you know.
What is your projected finish date on the Postal dating sim, Pedro?
Okay, let's see. How long does it take to learn basic programming?
Great.
Basic programming.
Now I know where we're at.
We are at that. Okay. So
Good.
I wasn't
Glad.
joking when I made that meme. We might have something. I still can't reveal.
So Postal
anything.
dating sim coming 2024.
2025.
Yeah, we're a few years
We'll
off
see.
here. This kid doesn't know what he's doing. I figured the thing you were using was like just a point and click
Yeah.
editor
Or something.
No.
It's gonna be.
A lot
It's
of
gonna be
what
something.
if scenarios in there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're working on it. Maybe if you spent less time in your free time jerking off and you spent more time working on Postal dating sim,
I can't. It's not November.
that's true.
He's not allowed to stop.
No.
I can't
Well,
stop.
as,
Non-stop, all the
as your
time.
boss, consider it November. Stop jerking off. I want you to
Okay.
save up that load for when you finish Postal dating sim, and then I want to see where it goes.
And then can I just sploosh
Yeah.
at the end?
Yeah, I think that would be very good.
Okay.
A new rise in viruses specific to stealing gaming accounts. So people are just Mr. Roboting you so they can get into your Steam account.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Because there's a huge new market for Steam accounts and Origin accounts and Epic accounts. Of course, people can just reset their passwords and that's it.
Right.
Don't forget
I don't
the
know why
Ubisoft
they.
launcher. Don't forget that one.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft.
What they
Uplay.
just renamed it. It's not Uplay anymore. What's it fucking called now?
Uconnect or something.
Ubi shit.
Ubi shit.
Ubisoft Connect. Yeah. I
Ubi
I
Heart?
was like, what the fuck did I install? It installed something new. Oh, Uplay got a new.
Yeah,
name.
it's crap. And I'm still pissed off that the crossplay that they advertise for Watch Dogs Legion only means on the same console that you use, right? Like if you upgrade from PS4 to 5, you can bring your saves over, but I can't bring my saves from PC to the Xbox version or
Jesus.
like and you have to log into Uconnect on there. You'd think it would just use the same fucking save data, but it
Right.
does not. It does not.
Unreal.
Unreal.
It's Unreal 4. Valve Index successor rumored to be a standalone VR headset. I would hope so.
No.
I would say one of the most annoying things about doing VR is the shit that's dragging behind your body.
Yep.
I just hope it doesn't explode on anybody's head.
Did Steam? Oh, because of a battery. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole headset. Like
I maybe, I would
I
worry
imagine
less
it
about
has
it
fans
exploding and more
working
just
there.
about like giving you a brain tumor.
yeah, or overheating and then you get brain damage.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting because the market is kind of there-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we still have a VR game that we need to finish. So if the VR industry could, get a little bigger, cheaper, more people have it,
Yeah.
then one day we'll put Assault and Battery out.
if more people buy VR headsets and if they decrease the value of VR headsets,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Then Assault and Battery will come out.
Make it $100 and everybody will pay.
Yeah, exactly. But not Assault and Battery won't be $100.
Yeah.
I still get a lot of requests every day for the Postal Dude in Payday.
Oh.
I have reached out to them. We did have a little discussion, but if you guys want to like just tag the shit out of them on Twitter and say, "Hey, we want the Postal Dude in Payday too." Cool.
Nice.
We're down for it. We are ready. So not just Microsoft, if you're listening, Payday guys, if you're listening, let us know. We want the dude in there. Our last topic, and we're going to round this podcast out at about 45 minutes, is that CD Projekt Red is now pissing off the GOG fan base. Why is that, Pedro?
Because Hitman was released on GOG, which, by the way, is a DRM-free platform.
Yep.
And that's been like that for years, and it hasn't changed at all. Suddenly, Hitman was released on GOG with DRM included. And in the store page, it said DRM free. So, of course, people are going to be pissed, and they have every right to be pissed because it's false advertisement. However, CD Projekt Red said they will remove reviews, negative reviews about that, which I don't think it's correct, personally.
No, that's horseshit. They're mad about. I listen. I love IOI. I love the new Hitman trilogy. I love the whole franchise. But the DRM thing that they added, basically when they call it DRM free, what they mean is you can play offline, but they leave out the fact that, if you play offline, you can't unlock anything. Nothing you do matters. Your save files can't work if you're online. And it's like playing just a really shitty version of the game. So you have to have an online connection to access most of the game. In terms of like, there's no progression if you're playing offline, so it's not DRM free.
So basically, CDPR is just really not doing themselves any good service here lately.
Yeah,
they've really been,
instead of being like, you know what, we'll talk to IOI, maybe we can figure out. They went, we're going to remove all these bad reviews about something that is true. Oh, thanks. That really helps everybody.
There's an actual reason why I call Postal 3 AIDS for your Steam account, and it's not because it's super bad. It is super bad. It's because of Star Force.
Is that in there still?
I don't know. It used
That's
to be.
fucking
I wouldn't
hilarious.
know. I haven't booted the game in fucking God knows how long, but there was.
Yeah.
It did have Star Force, which is no joke AIDS for your Steam account. So
That's fucking funny.
it is also shit. And it is infecting your Steam library with shit, but also Star Force. Well, we're out of topics here, and I want to get to playing a little brain damage for you guys. So I'm going to call it quits here. I'm going to shut down the stream, and I'm going to restart it here in a minute if you guys want to watch me play Brain Damaged. Thanks, James, for finally being available when I ask you 5 minutes before a podcast if you're ready to go. Thanks, Pedro. And, maybe we can have you on more often now, James. I know that you're now an upper class Costco employee, so you may not have the time on the reg. But did I just blow you up?
Maybe a little bit. It's all right.
They don't know where you live. And it's not like you work for a bad company.
No, it rocks.
If you work for Walmart, then people might hunt you down.
Yeah, it could be Target.
Right. Like if you were a Sam's Club manager.
That's funny.
That would be more in the running with scissors vein, right? Like Costco's way too luxurious for RWS people. Like we're more of a Sam's Club kind of company.
That's funny.
Except we're not rich and we don't fuck people.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks guys. I love you both and I love everybody that watched this live. Thank you. We will catch you next time. And I'm going to play a little tune here at the end for you guys. This was a song that our sound guy Josh wrote for the game, and I did a little screaming on. So if you want to hear me do my hardcore screaming, peep into this this stupid sound that I have playing at the end of this podcast. So thanks, guys. Bye. 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 Bye.